Consultant salary report. This is one of the things that we spend the most time on and have the most fun with at Management Consulted. And this year's report, the 2020 Consulting Salaries Report, is one of our favorites that we've ever put together. And why? Well, it's got over 50 firms, some really cool insights, some pretty snazzy graphics, if I do say so myself. And also it's really fun to talk about how much firms pay, to bring it out into the open and to help you decide if you're thinking about interview prep and trying to decide whether to go into the industry, where you should be preparing for networking, and if you're getting an offer, how to negotiate it. Just really quickly, wanted to mention that at Management Consulted, we help with both of those. So we work on interview prep and also on negotiating salaries through our coaching team. So if you've got questions, please reach out to us. But without further ado, let's go into the salary report. I'm actually going to give some of the highlights from it, and then I'll direct you for further reading to our website, managementconsulted.com, and the focus is on consulting salaries. So if you search for it, you'll find it. Management consulting salaries has been something that we've covered for almost 10 years now. And this year's report is, like I mentioned, the best ever. And why? Well, number one, in the 10 years that we've been covering salaries, this is the first year that we've actually seen hiring freezes. So there's a little bit of shift that's happening inside the industry where a couple of firms are beginning to not extend offers or not honor return offers that they said that they would give after summer internships. And we haven't seen anything like that in the 10 years that we've been covering salaries. That, in general, negative sign of an economic downturn to come. However, that's paired with a very robust pay increase, especially on the MBA side, and great salaries, both at the undergrad level and the MBA level, and an increase in the firms that are doing tuition reimbursement at the MBA internship level. So you're seeing this on this one side, a little bit of cooling potentially in the industry, and then you're seeing heat on the other side. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna walk through a couple of the categories that we've got in the consulting salary report. And then if you've got further questions, again, lots of great reading on our site at managementconsulted.com. So first of all, I'm gonna talk about the salaries for incoming undergraduate and master's full-time hires. Incoming undergraduates and masters who usually have fewer than 3 years of work experience are gonna start at the same place. And it would be brilliant if it was an associate from blah, blah, blah. But if you're an associate from Yale University or an associate from Princeton or an associate from Georgia Tech, you make the same amount of money at these consulting firms. And so one of the cool things about our report is that this isn't an average, this is the actual number that we get from everybody inside the firm. And we're reading actual offer letters when we're publishing them. So big news for this is that we're seeing a lot of firms kind of at the $90,000 level. Bain & Company, BCG, and PwC are all at the $90,000 level for their 2020 salaries. Interestingly, Parthenon EY decided to make a little bit of a statement by bumping up above the $90,000 level. McKinsey just kind of chilling in its McKinsey-ish way at $87,000. So you see a lot of hovering around that $90,000 mark and a little bit of differential. But you're seeing this trend here, which we're gonna see even more in the MBA salaries, that the boutiques are making that hot statement saying things are good for them, they're in need of people, they wanna make sure that they're on par with other top firms when they're extending hiring decisions. So take a look at the different firms. Again, we've got a lot of different firms from KPMG Strategy to Accenture Federal to A.T. Kearney and beyond at the undergraduate level. But the next piece that's interesting to know is that you've got some really great data for the MBA and PhD full-time hires. And this is where the money really gets interesting. MBAs and PhD full-time hires trailing off of a year last year, where at the end of the summer, a couple of firms really bumped their full-time salary targets. We're seeing 165 across the board for a couple of big players. Alex Partners, Bain & Company salaries are up to 165. You're seeing BCG salaries also at the 165 level. McKinsey and LEK salaries are also at the 165K level. And this is just the total cash. So that doesn't include, for example, signing bonuses or potential target for additional bonuses. So you're looking at over 200K at any one of these firms. But interestingly, we're seeing Strategy and Parthenon EY, again, making a statement that they are world-class top organizations. There is no discount to going to work there over an MBB firm, and notably have slightly higher salaries as well. So in the report, you can actually get the breakdown on how Bain, BCG, and McKinsey Consulting hire and compensate, and you'll see that across the US and also international members. In addition, we have some bonus information for you, which is focused on internships. So we have undergraduate and master's program internship salaries, which are on an hourly, weekly, or summer basis, and then MBA and PhD program internship salaries, which include, in some cases, also tuition reimbursement, which is incredibly valuable. And we're looking at $50,000 as a bonus for a summer at these organizations. So those are a lot of the places to be for sure if you're interested in going into consulting. In addition, we have some management consulting salary insights. So we've got management consulting bonus information, and we're looking through a lot of the different firms. What you'll see is the growth trajectory across firms. And as the labor market gets tighter and tighter globally, and especially in the US, you're seeing a little bit of a bump at higher levels. So firms are having to pay more to retain people at the same senior levels. When exiting consulting, you're going to see a huge variety of different organizations and different pay structures. But one of the things that you might want to know before you dive into 60 hours of the case interview is that when you get there, you will be paid well. And we hope that you enjoyed this report on the consulting salaries for 2020. Again, if you want more information for it, please check out our website. And if you want help negotiating or any other help in the salary process, we would love to be a part of it. Thanks so much and take care.